Let's see. Let's see. Live for the second time today. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay. It worked. Hold on one second while I pin this. This is a collection, you guys. As you come on, say hello. And just let me know when you can hear me. How's it going? Okay, you guys. Check this out. Hey, Tracy. Look at this sign, how cute it is. I know you can't read the letters. They're backwards. I can't do anything about them. So we're going to do a grapevine. This is a collection, you guys. So we're going to be using this. Look how pretty that is. Pumpkins. We've got sunflowers in there. Super cute. We are going to be using an 18-inch grapevine. It needs a little bit of a trim, apparently. Let's cut off a couple little things here. Guys, if you guys missed it earlier, I was on over at the Wreath Shop. She got a bunch of stuff, so I wanted to show it off. And I still didn't show all of it. I showed quite a bit, though. Guys, I'm just trimming this. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to be using that, this sign. We use this already, but you can never get enough. Look how pretty this one is. Got a couple of these. We're going to use one of this. I showed you guys this on the live earlier. Super pretty. And we're going to use these. So this is maple leaves, absolutely gorgeous, and of course, they go with the sign. So, hey Tina. Okay, you guys, so we have that over here. So let me put, first of all, let's put the sign on. How about that? Oh, wait. Before we do that, so we're going to be using these. All right. Totally match the sign. Look at that. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay. Let's set that out over here. You can eat that. Yeah, if you guys missed it earlier, I was over at the Wreath Shop and showing off a bunch of new fall that came in, new Halloween that came in, a lot of Christmas that came in, and there's still so much more. I have not even begun to show you guys everything that's there, but we'll work on that, guys. Hey, Tracy. I know Sarah was going to be I was there all by myself. Well, not really. I wasn't there by myself. Julie was in the background. Julie was there. Okay, so we're going to add this sign. I think we're just going to do it up higher. Now I'm just going to do it in the center. So a lot of times these signs, hey Dallas, I do tend to put them in the center, and then I work stuff around them. If I can get that in there, that would be amazing. And all I did, you guys, was staple some pipe cleaners onto this. Okay, so I like color coordinating them. So I will tell you that it's a brown pipe cleaner. Oh, you can see it last. You can also do it with wire. Hey, Stella. You can also do it with wire. I will tell you that if I'm using wire, I use the covered wire. There's one. Come on, buddy, get down here. We're trying to just center this a little bit. Yeah, should be pretty good. We're just gonna tighten that a little bit there. Tighten it on the other side. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Okay, now I'll finish tightening. So I always like to hang it up and then look at it just to make sure that's kind of even. Right? Because if your sign is like, hey there. Unless you purposely want to do that, then that's okay too. But I don't. And all I'm trimming off, you guys, whenever I do this, is just anything that could possibly scratch a door. So that's what I'm going for. I don't want to scratch a door. So whenever you see me trimming, I used to like really trim them down, right? And it'd just be like, go down the rabbit hole. But I don't do that anymore. Because it's grapevine. Also too, when I cut these, you guys, I cut it a little bit longer. That way I can just tuck it in, and that way those wires are not poking back out, and they're going to scratch somebody's door. Alright, so there we go. Seems pretty good. Woohoo! We have success! Okay, you guys. What do I want to do first? I'm going to make some bows, and then we'll work some of this stuff around there. Hey, Renee. How are you, girl? Yeah, let's do some bows first. We're going to do a bow that's going to go down, and then we're going to do a bow at the top, and then we're going to go from there. And we're going to add our florals and our greenery. So these are the ribbons that I picked because I thought they went fantastic with this sign. You guys, it is a collection. It is pinned at the bottom. Yeah. I get stabbed with that thing. And here are our ribbons. Let me cut that. They always do that. It breaks my heart, but what are you going to do? So in case you guys missed it, let me show you the ribbons we're using for this because they totally match. And we're just using 2. So here's what we got. Really pretty orange. It's not super bright. It's more conducive to fall. And then we've got our sunflowers. Let's make a bow for the bottom. First, we're going to do the long bow. Okay, we're going to make that, let's do 14. Let's do 14. And we're going to go about 6 inches. Right? I feel like, you know, I always love the orange and rust and like these are really good colors for fall. So coming down. And we're going to dovetail. Hey, Angie. Happy Tuesday. I always like Tuesday because that means if you're here, you survived Monday. If I'm here, I survived Monday. Make sure if you guys did not watch the live earlier, make sure you guys go back and watch it. That way you guys can see all the stuff that I showed, right? Because I like showing the stuff. That way you can see how big it is and everything. And then we're going to come down about 1/2 inch. Now we're going to make this loop a 5. So first one was a 6, this one's going to be a 5. And this is going to have 2 loops on each side. So hopefully, right, everyone had a good start to their week. Y'all, why did I get a notification a little while ago saying thunderstorms possible? What? It is like hot as Hades outside, man. It's like 100 and something. What's it talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I want to be a weather person. I can be wrong. That'd be totally fine. I won't ever get mad at you. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to come back here with our orange here. And we're just going to make a bump. Just a bump. We're going to make this tail about 5.5. And we're going to do a little 3-inch loop there. Actually, 3.5. I feel like it needs to be a little bit. We have had some bad start. Have you? See, I feel it's like, we're like, honestly, I think we've had like the wettest July and August that I can remember. It usually does not rain this much during the summer here. But of course it's hot and humid. Yeah. Ugh. That's always like the worst. You're like, oh, come on, man. It'll be hot and humid. And raining. No. Well, some of my plants do like that. Okay, we're going to lift this up. Just be careful if you got any storms, because I always hate that, alright? Put our zip tie through the back, you guys. Okay, kind of move our tails around here. Make sure I spread those out and puff them out. And then come back here. Tug on that a little bit. Here we go. Super cute bow. Look how pretty that is, right? My Matt's trying to look how. Tell me that does not go with that. That is. Yep. That's a good one. I like that one. Okay, so now we're going to do, that's the bow for the bottom. We're going to do the other bow and then we'll put them on. I'm going to put a bow on the top right there, you guys. So for this bow, once again, get my zip tie. You guys can deal with pipe cleaner. I promise I won't judge you. I'm a zip tie girl. Okay, and we're going to do... So we're going to do this tail 6 inches, approximately. Okay. And then we're going to do 5.5. Y'all, who's had that? When someone's like, I thought it's approximately. I am not a machine. Look, it's around there, okay? Give or take, give or take. And we're dovetailing. We're dovetailing as we go. Yes, I can measure that, but I usually eyeball that bottom one. Not gonna lie. Okay, who else has this happen? Whenever you're gonna make a bow, I don't care how much I measure it, one of the tails is always longer than the other one. Always. Even if I measure it. Don't know what it is. Don't know why. I'm like, I measured it. How, friends, how? It's okay. That's what the good Lord made scissors for. You just trim it. Okay, and we're going to come in, make that tail at 5.5. Yes! I always use approximately. So that where this one was 5.5, this one's going to be 4.5. Okay, bring that down. Yeah, just like I always post on my Etsy listings, you know, a grapevine is a natural product. it may vary in shape. Y'all know, if you guys buy grapevines, it is never always round. I mean, you're lucky if it's round. Actually, I like them when they're a little bit more oval, I'm not gonna lie. I usually try and squish them. But a lot of times I'm like, oh, well, you know, it's fine. Okay, we're gonna make this tail about 4.5. And then we're gonna do a little baby bump. Said the same thing, the measurements are off. So yes! Oh my gosh, always. I don't know, I can measure it, and then it's always, one tail is always slightly bigger. I'm like, what has happened? I don't know. I don't know why that is. It's fine. Okay, we did that little bump at 3. I just think it's funny. So usually for the center, they're usually 8 inches. And then the one that I use to attach it to the grapevine are usually the 12. So for the center, depending on the type of bow that it is, I can use the center anywhere between 4, 6, and 8. And then the ones to attach it to the grapevine, they're always 12. So yeah, so I have this one, but I could also use this one. That's 4 inch. So this is a thinner bow. I mean, you know, it doesn't have, like, if I'm gonna do one of the ones that has like 6 different, you know, ribbons, or it's gonna be really super loopy, then I can use that other one. If not, I can use a 4 inch, and look how much you have left over. Can you see that? Okay, there it is. So 4, 6, or 8, depending on the thickness of the bow. Yeah, if I'm doing like one of those ginormous bows, yeah, it's going to be the 8 inch one. Guaranteed. See? Although, to be fair, I didn't measure it because it's going to be off anyways. Slightly. Now let's give this a little tug here. And that's our top bow. Look how cute that is. Alright, let's move these out of the way. But let's put our pin in them. Tina, the other day, I did not put a pin in one. I got sidetracked. You know what happened, Tina? It fell on the floor and unrolled about halfway through. Girl, I could have had fit, man. Okay, let's move that over there. So let's put our bows onto. So usually what I do, first of all, I'm going to cut this off because this is going to get in the way. Where I go to put my bow, I will give it a little bit trimmed there just so that it's not, you know, it doesn't get in the way. So there we go. Nice little flat surface there. And then we're going to come in, and I usually try and kind of find the center of that, and that's where I'm going to put it. Through the grapevine. Push that through. Now, as I always say, I don't tighten it all the way because I may need to move this around, all right? Like maybe it's off to one side. If I tighten that, I'm not going to be able to move that over, okay? So, once I got it around where I think the center might be, then I tighten it a little bit more. Even then, I still don't do the final tighten, until the end. Okay, so there's that. Even then, see? Perfect. But that's going to be around the center. Just see? There you go. And then we're going to put the one on the top. Right? Now, a lot of times when I go to put that one on the top, I will look at this and be like, okay, that looks about there. Laugh, girl, laugh. Laughter is the best thing. I don't ever take myself too seriously. I think other things would be better with laughter in the world. I laugh all the time. I'm a loud laugher too. I'm like, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. See? Wasn't quite in the center, but because I didn't tighten it all the way, I can kind of move that around. There's my cutters. So here we go. See, nice little colors all go together. Now we're going to add some steps. Let me tighten this one a little bit more. She's being a little unruly. Okay. All right, and sometimes I don't see it until like it's on the camera, and then I'm like, wait, that's like a little, like look at it that way. It looks great. Just move her a little to the, there, look how straight that is. Okay, we are going to come in. We're going to add these first and add stuff around them. So we used these a couple weeks ago. Or maybe last week. I don't know. I can't remember when it was. All my days mingled together. But we've used these before, friends. We've used this before. So this is a really pretty spray. It does have flowers. It does have pumpkin. And it has different type of greenery, which I love. I always like that. So all I'm doing is just spreading this around. I am going to put stuff behind it, so we're good. Okay. See how pretty that is? So probably going to put that on. Maybe like this. So I will tell you, sometimes when I put these in, I will do this bit. Because I want part of it to go that way, but then I want the other part to kind of go down. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Don't be afraid to try new things. The other thing I'm going to tell you guys. Does it work? It doesn't work. Take it apart. Not that big of a deal. Yeah. I also tend to commit, and then I'm like, oh, all right. And we're putting that behind it right there. The other thing, so I'm adding this on here. If this leaf is, because it's a little big, it's a little aggressive. Oh, like that. Problem solved. And we'll put that in somewhere else. And we'll move this one a little bit over. Okay? So, don't be afraid to move your stuff around. Now I'm putting that flower a little bit to the bottom. Okay? Look at that. And we're going to add some leaves on that. We will probably take this one off over here. And I'm going to add these on the top to kind of bring in those colors there up on the top as well. Okay? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of do the same thing. We want to spread this out. All your sprays, when they come all compact. So I tend to, oh no, don't be too aggressive. So I kind of move them around, okay? And if you notice, I'm kind of mirroring to where that's the pumpkin there, flower's going to be at the bottom. So, and it doesn't have to be exact, you guys, okay? But I also don't want it to be like totally wonky and look weird. So, let's put some on the other side. Once again. Put it in there. There it goes. Okay, so our flower is going to kind of, we may do the opposite here. And put this flower more towards the top. Uh-oh. Can't yank it. I may have to do a little surgery there. Kind of moving some of this stuff down, okay? Kind of got that going there, okay? See? We're going to add some leaves. So I'm going to add some of these leaves in, and then I'm going to start putting some of this in, okay? These are pushers. How well they go. Hey, Sharon. So we're just adding this. See right there, I'm bringing that in so that you can see some of the green, some of this lighter color in, okay? I always like to mix them when I put them in, okay? It helps them blend better. The other thing I really like about these leaves, look how veiny they are, right? They're not just, they've drawn little veins on them, so super cute. Coming in here as well. Same thing. We're going to be pulling some of these leaves. There we are. Hold on, you guys. Oh. I'm like, it's not cooperating. That's why. Okay, there we are. You yank this flower. If you ever get your flowers and the petals start coming down too much, all you have to do is add a little dab of glue. Maybe one more little dab of glue. Cover that one up. Bringing our tails down. So we're going to bring in some more of those leaves right down here and then up here. Now, the good thing is, so these are pushers. So what you can do, so I want to kind of, right, I want to have them come down a little bit there. So I'm going to take This is the awesome thing with pushers. So you can actually make your, add more leaves to it, right? Hey, Teresa. So now I made this a little bit fuller there. And then we're going to come in here. And add that there. Let me bring this down a little bit more. There we are. Okay. There we go. But see how putting those leaves behind it brings those ribbons up a little bit, right? Kind of brings the ribbon back out a little bit. So that's what we're doing. Take that other one, it's on that one. This, like I said, I do this with pushers all the time. Sometimes I'll combine pushers together to make my own stems. So. Let's put that in there. Bring this underneath the bow there. Now we could pull this off of this spray. I'm actually going to add this in the center here. Kind of incorporate a little bit more of the green in. Very easy that is, you guys. And then we're going to be adding more leaves throughout. The other thing I like these, some of these are really long and some of them are shorter. So you get the different depths. I mean, you can cut them and that's easy too. But like I always say, it's always nicer when they're longer because it gives you a lot more to play with. I'm sure that sounded totally horrible now that I said it out loud. Okay, and we're just coming in with these leaves here. You see? We're going to put another one on this side. Tina, don't you dare laugh. Don't you dare. Yeah, if you guys missed it earlier, I was over at the Wreath Shop. You guys can watch the replay on here. And I was showing a bunch of fall, Halloween, and Christmas that's coming in. I obviously didn't show anything. If you guys missed it, there are some amazing black and white pumpkins that Sarah and I had totally forgot that we picked out. Okay, and I'm coming in here. Look how fall. Now we're going to come in and put some behind up here. Right? You ever do that? Like you say something and it makes sense and then you hear yourself say, like I heard myself saying what I said. No, friends, no. I should have used different words. Yeah. That's one of those that I'm going to have to play back for my husband. Because he's going to laugh and go, did you not realize what you're saying? No. No, friends, I did not. Yeah. That was funny. Okay, so let's continue. So all I'm doing is adding around the bow, you guys. Let me lift that up just look at that. So we're coming in and we're just adding these around the bow. I am going to add some green in there. Never a dull moment, friends. Never a dull moment. I'm not saying it again, Renee. I was saying something very innocent when after I got done saying it, sounded very bad. Very highly inappropriate. That's kind of funny. See how pretty that is against that ribbon? Yeah, definitely could be. Definitely could be. Especially with all the colors in here. It's very fall, autumn, Thanksgiving friendly. Right? You've got your florals, you've got your sign that says welcome. It's got a pumpkin on it, but it's not specifically a Halloween pumpkin. It's got some sunflowers that you could use. Okay, if you notice, I'm going to move some of these around a little bit here, but look at that. Yeah, it's bad, friend, bad. And then I cut these green leaves from the bottom one, and I'm going to add them up here, so you can just see them kind of peeking out. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. You see a little bit of green there. Little bit of green there. Gonna add. This has got two here. I think I'm going to do this one up on the top here. All we're doing is we're just adding the greenery here, you guys, or our fall foliage. There we go. Look at that. I just realized where I'm going to put this one. It's going to go right there. That way you can see a little bit of everything, right? Now we're going to come in with this. Right. So, I love this type of greenery. Look at how airy this is, okay? It's a pusher. So, this one comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 stems. But look at that. Ooh, wiggly. And a lot of times what I will do with these, I will actually cut these in half. And now you have two very airy, because that's what I kind of want. It's going to add a different texture to it. You're going to, if you still notice in the sign, it's got those little spots there. So now we're going to come in here. The other thing with this, because it is airy, right? You can pull some of these that are going to come here. You can pull some that are going to come this way. So see that? We're just working these in. And as usual, I'm pulling some forward. Some are going towards the back. But very wispy. Wispiness. We like wispiness. Wispy airiness. This is a collection, you guys. It is pinned at the bottom. And we're just adding all our little wispies here. I am going to add more to the top. The bottom. But I do want to put some into the top here. You can see those coordinate really well with the sign right there. And we're just continuing to add these. They're a really pretty color. They've got a little bit of that orange. They've got the sagey green in there. I'm just kind of moving them around so you can see them throughout. Okay? That's all we're doing. We're going to keep adding them throughout. Thanks, Dad. Super wispy. Pushers. Can never go wrong with the pushers. It really is. If you can get anything in a pusher, that's the way to go. I will tell you, those are hands down my favorite. Oh, we're going to put it in here. I always like putting stuff behind the bow, okay? Okay, so we've got them all along here. We can put some down, but we've been working on that top right there. And let's put some on the below. You know, you ever talk and your words don't want to work? My body's like, look, you already did a live today. What are you doing another one for? Okay. Okay, we're pulling all those out. Very fall and wispy. Look at that, just adding some of this adds a lot of texture, color, all the things we want. Right? You can see them everywhere. There, there. That's more up on top there. Okay, we're going to add some down here. But yeah, those leaves really make this. The other thing, you guys, because this is a pusher, because that is a pusher, you can control where your leaves are, right? So if you want your leaves to come out a little bit more, you just pull on it a little bit. If, you know, you want them to go back a little bit. Yes, very fall. We're going for fall, something that you can use, right? You've got pumpkins on there, so that's going to cover all your bases for all that we're looking for. Autumn, fall. Some people don't like to do Halloween stuff, you know, they don't like the spooky. So you could always put something like this and you've still got it covered because it's showing your pumpkins. Look at that. Just adding some of that wisp there. Going to add a little piece there. Over on the other side. Underneath our bow here. See? Wispy, wispy. So add that little piece there. I'm going to leave these on the side here because I'm sure I'll find another place to put one. Look how cute that is. Let's see. I'm looking at that. Is that one there? All right, move your stuff around a little bit. Okay, guys. I can get it off the hair. There we go. Apparently put glue on there. But look how wispy fall that is. So we've got our sign here that's got our pumpkins. We've got our ribbon that matches. We've got our florals. Our greenery that's mixed in there. Got the maple leaves. All these little wispies. So very fall. Very, very fall, you guys. This will cover your bases for just about anything. Very neutral fall, right? You can put this up and you know it's fall. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so a lot of times, so when I go to put something in, I call it fish hooking it, okay? Because you go to put a stem, and you guys know that sometimes when you put glue, your hot glue is really hot, right? So some of that plastic peels away. So when you put it in, you know, it's not that secure. So a lot of times what I do is, right, we have our little end there. I just take my needle nose and I call it fish hooking it. And then all I do, if that little plastic comes off, it's okay. So it looks like that. Okay, can you see that? It's a little fish hook. So when you put it into your grapevine, say it's not going to fall out, right? Because it's like anything else, it's going to hook in there. So how are you going to get it? It's going to be a little hard to pull that out, right? That also helps with, like, if it's windy, right? If you, I mean, sometimes here in Texas, y'all, that wind is no joke. So I want to make sure my stems aren't coming out. So I do that. Put my glue, put it in there. And that way when you're, you know, how many of you been straightening out your wreath and you're vigorously straightening it out and all of a sudden you're like, oh, why am I holding the stem in my hand? Probably didn't put enough glue, but at the same time, if I had not done my little fish hooky thing, you know, it would still stick in there. It'd still be in there. It wouldn't just fall out. Okay? So, that's a little something I do. So there you go, you guys. This is a collection. It is pinned at the bottom. Make sure if you guys have any questions, ask them. And I'll answer. Make sure you guys come back on Thursday. I can't remember what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I grabbed something. And make sure you guys go back and watch the replay and watch of earlier today. I went over to the Wreath Shop and showed up a bunch of stuff. That way you guys know what size it is, what it looks like, what it feels like. Of course, Teresa. So I did that, and then make sure you guys are following the page here, the Wreath Shop, of course. The Wreath Shop here. Go ahead and follow the page here. Then go over to my page, the Red Rustic Rose, and follow that because yeah, follow me. Okay, you guys. I will see you guys Thursday. Have a good night. Bye, guys.